Welcome back to Port Macquarie Regional Stadium here for the quarterfinal fixture in the Men's Open A division. James Preston and Carly Banks with you in commentary between Newcastle Knights with ball in hand and the West Magpies, and David Stone set to join the action very shortly. Carly Banks, this one should be a cracker.
Absolutely, James. Two high-quality teams here. Great tournament so far from the Newcastle Knights. Surprise packet for these guys to be in this quarterfinal, and they worked really hard. And that's a great long ball from Matty Atkins to get us underway, and I think that's a try. It is.
Well, how about the finish as well? Acrobatic, getting the legs up in the air and placing it down within an inch of the sideline.
Yeah, Matty Atkins has had a stellar tournament so far for the Newcastle Knights. Come back from a knee reconstruction last year and played for the Hornets Men's Open in the NTL, and State of Origin for the New South Wales Open mix, and he's just getting better and better, as it goes on. He's actually fitter than I've seen him looking for a while. So, yeah, this has been a breakthrough tournament for Matty in terms of stepping up and being a leader in this Knights outfit.
And a great start as well here for Newcastle. First points on the board as the Magpies go for a short side raid here. Just poking their nose through at the moment.
Yeah, really good play there from Jason Cassie, the number 7. He's been their dominant ball player in this tournament. Now he's running the ball out, giving a platform.
Long pass coming here, and they can respond in like kind. The Magpies, that's an absolute rifle of a ball. They'll just double check here, and yes, all is fine. The Magpies square things back up with a very similar play. And joining the commentary now is David Stone alongside Carly Banks.
Yep, all good. Yeah, so a nice right to left platform there, and it was very well executed by the West Magpies. And we're all tied up here at 1-1 on Budgie Smugglers finals day.
Bit of a change in the commentary. I'm back, Carly. Luke Heckendorf sitting back in the commentary box, been dragged away from the canteen. Bit of a strange one, but we're back, giving James Preston a break. And Newcastle and West one apiece as Newcastle look to attack. Newcastle's been a surprise packet for the tournament, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have. This game, it's got that feeling about it, Luke, that's going to go down to the wire, and it'll be a touchdown-a-thon there. And there's a beautiful long ball there.
Excellent try. It's one which, if you're new to touch football, if you score on the wing, it's generally accepted. You don't want them to score, obviously, but if they score on the wing, you've made them push the pass all the way out, and you've always got a little bit of a chance to run that down, or the winger could potentially drop it. Isn't that right, Carly?
Yeah, I think, though, defensively, if you're starting to leak too many of those sorts of touchdowns, you maybe have to have a bit of a look at your spacings between defenders and try and sort of come up with something, just to make a little bit of an adjustment to make life a little bit harder for those ball players on those 4-on-3 platforms.
Definitely right. So, West looking to make the hit back. Kaziz into half, steps, and that ball is down. Campbell Muir points to the spot, and West hit straight back.
Yeah, nice little quickie play, on that 7-metre line, and the Newcastle Knights will be disappointed with that defensive effort because they really need to make that, on the line, and now, West have got themselves back to level pegging here, Luke.
Yes, definitely right. So Newcastle hitting it back, and we'll see what they can do off the tap-off. All the action's down one end at the moment, and West on the defence, passed back in, thrown out, and James Shute, I think he had that one all covered up. James Shute, obviously with the beautiful moustache as well, always looking good on the field, and we'll see what Shooty and Blackwood can do as West look to drive it over to the box. Making it up the left-hand side of the field, as James Shute into half, passing it off, and West's on 5th touch, looking to see what they can do. Catalano with the ball, passes it out to the link, but well shut down by the winger. So Newcastle will have a chance to work it out of their own end. Nice quick run up the middle of the field, shifting it over to the far side of the field, and we'll see some players coming onto the field. In a moment, we can see the Newcastle players really fanning out. This is something they're really good at. That's
a really nice latch play there from Ryan Potts, and we're looking for a passive shape out the back. Yep, definitely, and that's them in a nutshell. The Newcastle Knights will play, to their sub box, get their subs on, try and do the 1%ers really, really well. Their coach Lindsay Brain and assistant Matt Richards have worked hard with the boys during the preparation on this, and we've played them a couple of times at Dorlo and been really impressed with their preparation. So their tournament here hasn't surprised me at all. I knew that they had them in it to produce a tournament like this.
So West's on the attack, as we can see. Ball shifted out. Justin Costello in the middle there, Australian representative. You can see he's smiling. He's probably the tallest bloke on the field. Originally from Northern Territory, and we have had word that there are some Northern Territory viewers watching from all the way up in the top end. So if you're watching from wherever you are, if you're in Australia, Northern Territory, we welcome you to the coverage as Justin Costello comes off the field for a quick spell. I'd say he's looking a little bit tired.
He's got a great work rate, Cozzy, and one of the real gentlemen in our sport as well, Luke.
Yes, definitely right. He's a member of Touch Football Australia's Reconciliation Action Plan panel, and he definitely gives back to the sport at all levels. As Wests are on the attack, touch is made by the player there. So we're just waiting on a team list, and we'll work through these players. So apologies, we're calling the players that we're aware of, but this Newcastle side, a fairly young side, and real surprise packet. So they're into the quarters, and we'll see what they can do in the next couple of minutes.
Fantastic defensive read there by Liam Squires, Australian youth winger, New South Wales 20s representative last year, and he's one of the real superstar wingers of our sport, and he just showed why with that fantastic read to save Newcastle's bacon when they needed it most.
Definitely right. So Newcastle on the attack, fifth touch called by the referee. Thrown out to the wing, little tap back on the inside, and heavy contact, but he'll get back up there. Yeah,
fantastic attack and defence then at both ends of the field. Really good play from Newcastle winger Huey Doherty, who managed to get the bat back into his link, and just great defence from the West defence in terms of the link and the winger getting across and snuffing that attacking foray out.
So Blackwood plays it down to Madalitso, Costello. Madalitso into Catalano. Up the middle of the field. Fifth touch called by the referee. Ripped out to Costello. Madalitso comes inside. Costello shows it, but goes himself. Yeah. Throws that into the referee's legs. I can't say that would have been intentional, but still, it does disadvantage the side, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And good pick up there by referee Campbell Muir.
Campbell Muir obviously joining us from Queensland this weekend. He had a run last week at the Queensland State Cup, and now he's come down to help out. So
fantastic.
Thanks for coming down.
Fantastic camaraderie between the referees in Queensland and New South Wales, and it's great to have some of the best referees, in the game out here today, Luke.
Yes, definitely. So Newcastle on the attack. Catalano, good defence, and number 14 from West. He's an elder statesman. Robbie Knuckler, what do you know about him?
Knuckles, fantastic servant of the game, represented New South Wales and Australia, been at West his whole career in Mets, and just like a really, really good person as well. Coached at the NYC recently, the Triple C boys, and just always giving back to the sport, and he's one of those people you always love having in your team. Yeah,
he's definitely one of those players. There's a lot of players around that. It's spread out in all the teams across the weekend. It's fifth touch called by the referee. Thrown out to the wing. Madalitso, Australian winger, back on the inside to the number 24. I think the referees will point to the spot. Yes, and that is a try.
Yeah, really, really well-worked try there from the Western Suburbs Magpies. Really nice J-line from the winger. I mean, Mass, what do you expect? A winger of his quality. Nice little bat back on the inside. It's like tit for tat, these teams, isn't it? And I think we're in for a crackerjack game here already, Luke, as we would expect at the business ends of the men's Open A division.
Yes, definitely. And Madalitso, a Australian winger, incumbent Australian winger, yes. And he doesn't look like much. He's a bit of a pocket rocket, isn't he? He's such a good player and can definitely do some things on the touch field, which I could only dream of. So Newcastle on the attack. Throws it out. Touch is made in the middle. Some really good defence. They're scrambling here, Wes.
Yeah, great ball playing from Floyd Ty, former Australian youth representative, and working in there with Matt Atkins. So that combination is fairly well honed, and I expect them to be a little bit more dangerous as this game wears on, Luke.
So number 40 from Newcastle. Can you tell us a little bit about him in the link here? Just over this side.
That's Floyd Ty. So, So, Hunter Sports High graduate and somebody who's been an Australian youth mixed 20s representative at the last World Cup.
Yeah, I know that I cast eyes on him out in Dubbo a few weeks ago at the National Indigenous Touch Football Knockout, and I hadn't seen too much of him purely because there hasn't been too much Australian action happening with the lockdowns and the like. But I saw him playing. I think it was for one of the teams from Newcastle, and man, he can play, can't he?
Yeah, he is. He's got a beautiful left to right long ball. Watch him go. Lockie Fitzhenry with the ball there to link. A little tap over the top, but he's another young player, Australian under-18 youth representative at the 2020 Youth Trans-Tasman Series, a Newcastle boy. Really good story. He was a shadow player, and one of our players got sick the night of the jersey presentation and rang him up. He's a local Newcastle boy, and he came to all the trainings, and he ended up getting his run for Australia. So, and did a very, very good job.
Yeah, that was, I think, Australia taking the clean sweep, not the Queen sleep, the Queen sleep. Clean sweep of the tournament, and yeah, really good tournament up in Newcastle. And it was a shame we couldn't get to the Opens tournament a little bit later on.
Absolutely, but better things ahead, Luke.
Exactly right. As Newcastle on the attack, they're looking to hit back. Score currently West 3, Newcastle 2. Still 19 minutes to run, so plenty of time as Newcastle up the middle of the field.
Yeah, the passive shape again. They've sort of looking, either to go through that front hole, and I would expect pretty soon that over in that sub box that Lindsay Brain and Matt Richards, they're having a bit of a conference there before. They'll be looking for that passive out the back, and I think it won't be too long until we see that.
So West have to work it off their own end. They are very good at getting up there. They're one of the more tough and physical sides, we'd probably say, as Costello flicks it on to Blackwood. And Costello getting into the middle in the mix of things. Costello with the ball. Dumps it down.
It's forward.
That pass. Didn't step over it.
Yep.
So he didn't step over it. Passed it forward. Take your pick. And they've found a penalty in there. So ideally, not too much difference between a penalty and a roll ball down this end of the field anyway, is there?
Absolutely, Luke. Like, you'll wear either one of them, won't you?
So Newcastle with the ball. They're going to try and bring some fresh legs onto the field, and you'll see them come in, and we'll see what they can come up with. So touch 2, and they're already on the attack. So let's see what Newcastle can do.
These two New South Wales State of Origin mixed open representatives, Blake Potts and Matt Atkins, watch their combination. They've been playing together from a very young age. So this is their big attacking pod here. So there's a changeover, unfortunately, but watch for Ty, Atkins and Potts to work together. Excellent.
So Wests again. They're going to work it back over. Referees found a penalty. I think they've got a foot in the ruck, so just making contact with the ball. Blackwood will take the tap and really work it up. As we've seen a few subs made, they may not bring it over this side of the field. So shoot with the step. Throws the head around. He's not someone you want to give too much space, so they shut him down. And Mads found his way to the middle of the park. I think he'll make his way back over to the wing as Blackwood. Nice strong run up the middle. 5th touch called by the referee. Pass back. Couldn't quite get that pass in.
Yeah, it was the right idea. I think that the West Magpies are there starting to sort of sense that Newcastle are a little bit man on down on that scoreline. So a little late switch there could have found the Newcastle Knights defence in a little bit of trouble. That's a really intelligent wing play there from Hugh Doherty. They got jammed in there by great West press defence through that middle, and he was very selective in being able to find someone. Great go forward from Lockie Fitzhenry to give them a shot on this last touch. Tamana Ellers, a member at the number 23, a young man from Newcastle who's in the Australian under-18 youth squad at the moment. So watch out for him as well. He's a great young player. Yeah,
there's a lot of really young players in this Newcastle side, and you've probably got a few more of the elder statesmen in the West side. So I think this Newcastle side's turned up, and they've basically said, we're here and we're ready to play.
Yeah, it's good. And full credit here to West to get themselves into it. On day one, they were without a win and looking like they were going out the back door before the shock upset win against Central Coast. So, they've done well to work their way into the tournament, and they're hitting form at the right time. Yep, definitely right. And yeah, I was in the middle of that Central Coast West game, and there was definitely some tension and some passion towards the end. But that's what happens at a state cup, and Absolutely.
That's what happens, and that's why we're here.
That's how much it means to everyone, Luke.
Exactly right.
That's why it's the best tournament in the world.
All right, Newcastle now throws it over the top. Dare say that may have just drifted forward.
Yeah, but bringing the crowds back on Budgie Smugglers finals day, Luke, for sure. All righty,
so the referees, I think, found another penalty here, but again,
I've thrown it away.
It's probably not too much you're worried about in that sense, because you get to set your defence there. So it's one of those ones where if you give them away every time, the referees will start to take a little bit more action. But if you think we're a little bit short, maybe it's better just to give them a little bit more time to get back and set your defence.
Yep, definitely.
All right, 5th touch called. And Newcastle defending that all too well. So Newcastle will look to get it back up the other end of the field. They definitely need to hit back. I just get the feeling if West were to come over and score a try, it might just drop the shoulders and the heads of the Newcastle boys with about 15 minutes to go. There's still plenty of time as Newcastle coming up the middle of the field. See what they can come up with. I think we're on touch 4. So shifting it back and forth.
There's that combination in the middle that they're looking for.
Stepping
Ryan
it back.
Potts.
And they'll turn that over. So just couldn't get it to work there.
No, because their transition was good enough. They moved the ball really well to the box. It's just they had a little bit of a pause in there between touch 3 and touch 4, and it allowed the West defence to, regather themselves and be able to, cull that attacking foray quite comfortably.
So West will look to try and extend their lead. 5th touch called by the referee. Catalano steps off the right, off the left, and ball's been touched in flight by Newcastle. So this will give them a fresh set. I don't think Wests are in any rush to get this one. They want to get a few extra players back onto the field. They've got their full contingent almost back on as Costello decides to just trot back out there. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, they've got the right combination to play this static game here with the Catalanos getting themselves set.
Quick step and touch made. So they're going to be looking for something in the middle. They're just taking their time. There's no real rush. We still have about 13 and a half minutes, and Catalano shifts it back, picks it up, quarterback. Yeah,
and I wouldn't be all surprised if there's an out ball heading towards Costello in the next couple of plays here. They sort of compress them in, and they've got the penalty, so we'll see what they do with their sequence.
All right, I think it's Kaziz, the number 7, coming on as well, so and another static player.
That's a really good call from the coaching staff there. He's also got the 4-3 game, and he can throw long. So there's the link ball that I was talking about.
Costello out to shoot and into the corner. So we could almost see that happening in slow motion, couldn't we?
Well, when you know the types of players and the types of setups, and that's exactly what sort of should have happened. And this is the thing, is that if you're giving away repeat sets on the line, then they're going to make you pay no matter who it is, especially on finals day. It's going to be one of those things that people need to be clinical, and they're going to be precise. So, you're going as hard as you can to make sure you don't give those repeat sets if you can, Luke.
So Newcastle back on the attack. Let's see what they can come up with as a step and jink. Carly, from a coach's point of view, are there situations like that where you almost just have to sit back and watch as defence and you go, they're going to score here?
Well, you probably never want to think like that at all. Like you've got to be up to it defensively. You need to have known the players that you're coaching against, and your team needs to know all of that. And you would be going, I'm seeing Costello standing where he is. These guys are non-static guys. This play's probably going to come, and that gets down to your education and also your experience. And that's very important. That you're never going to give up on a play and give people tries. No, you're not.
All right, Newcastle now. In defence, West coming up the middle, so Newcastle really needing to find the next try, I would say. If West were to put one over in the next couple of minutes, we might be in a little bit of trouble.
There's that switch. So they've obviously recognised that a couple of the Newcastle defenders are very man-on, so that late switch is something we'll see a lot more of. It's nearly come off twice now for West, and this is a real danger period here. The Knights need to stay in contact, as you alluded to a little earlier, Luke, in this next couple of sets. Just try and get back on an even keel here and just get in the contest.
That ball straight to the head on that one there. We'll have to make sure he's okay. I think he's all right. He's one of the elder statesmen of this team. He's played for years. I remember one of my first state cups. He was playing for West, the number 1, and he's definitely very vocal on the field as well.
Yeah, and every team needs their experienced players to sort of guide you around, the park, to bring a bit of steel and attitude when it counts, because finals, days like today, like you win the big ones off the back of, your attitude and your energy, and those types of players are worth their weight in gold.
Definitely. So, Catalano out to the link, touch claimed by the Newcastle players.
Fantastic work there from Huey Doherty again. Can't speak highly enough of this young winger, and he's definitely one, as the Hunter Hornets men's open coach, he's a young winger that I've got my eye on for the future for sure.
Oh, I dare say that ball's gone forward from Madalitzo, but right idea. And more often than not, that play comes off. So it's one of those ones where you go, I'm not going to score if I catch it. So let's see if we can tap it back in.
Definitely.
As Newcastle working their way up the far side of the park, working their way in the middle. A little touch made in the middle. He's lost his feet and he'll make it back. As Newcastle, 5th touch called. Flicked around. Oh, almost pushed off like a goalkeeper's punch. Just losing his footing, and he makes it back.
Yeah, the soccer story is a bit of a sad one this morning, isn't it, Luke? So we sort of don't want to touch on
Don't want to touch on it too much, but, it's one of those ones where you go, if before the tournament, if you take a 2-1 loss in a round of 16 match, you'd probably take it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and, we're there and thereabouts for a country of our size and experience that level. It's really, really nice to see we're able to compete.
And I was talking to a few people about it, and I said, if you get beaten, you hope that team goes all the way, because you think, well, if we had won, we would have gone the whole way. So you want to make sure that you're beaten by the best, and I think that team is one of the best with Argentina.
Yeah.
And
Messi.
Just like this team now we're watching, Wests has always been one of the best.
Passive themselves, and a great read from Liam Squires, proving the quality winger that he is, being able to snuff that opportunity out.
Blackwood out to shoot, back on the inside. Costello flicks it off, and nothing doing there. So Newcastle holding tight. Now I have had word, and I've one of my colleagues at Touch Football Australia and a former West player, James Sharp, completed a 50-kilometre ski erg over the weekend. So a huge shout out to James Sharp, the president of UQ Rebels up in Queensland, finishing 50 kilometres on the ski erg over the weekend, and he's I think he's fighting for maybe an Aussie men's 30s spot. So one day when you're allowed back down to New South Wales, we'll get you back out on the field for West, Sharpie. But congratulations on your effort. So West will look to try and extend this lead. This is danger time for Newcastle, isn't it, Carly?
Yeah, it certainly is. It's not gone by any means here, Luke. Like, the game's always got a long way to go. It's one of my favourite coaching philosophies, and you've just got to stay in it a little bit. But yeah, really important that they make a stop here and they get down the other end and just get a little bit of pressure, and then hopefully convert that into scoreboard pressure.
Oh, hard touch. Catalano, he's definitely one of the more physical players on this team, but gets away with one. Yeah,
he sails very close to the wind there, and they're a very, very physical team, but you know what you're going to get with them, and you need to make sure that you're adequately prepared for, the physical confrontation you're going to get against that side.
Oh, it's a good ball, but I dare say it's probably gone forward out of the hands. There's not too much wind about.
Play. It was the right play from Brodie Goodchild, and he's been a stalwart of this Newcastle Knights team, been a Newcastle junior since he's been, 8 years old. So to see people like him, come through, their club and be representing, in a quarter-final at the State Cup, that's a big moment for Brodie Goodchild and his father Wayne, who was the president of the Hornets, of the Hunter Western Hornets for many, many years. So yeah, shout out to Wayne and his family. Really, really good touch family in the Hunter region. Yeah,
and it was the right play, but just couldn't pull it off. But there's still plenty of time as Costello comes out of dummy half and he's caught. So Newcastle will get another chance, and Newcastle will really look to hit back, really put some pressure on West, because I dare say if West were to go in, they might just park the bus and just cruise through and go through the motions. So we'll see what Newcastle can come up with. You can never write them off.
Yeah, they're capable. They're very, very capable. And that man, Matt Atkins, and there's the fly.
That ball's gone forward, and the referees have picked it up.
Yeah, they've got it. It's a shame.
And West had the coverage to cover that anyway.
Again, they're not having much luck just with their option taking. The play's right. Just their execution's a little bit off for the Knights at the moment.
Well, Madalitso almost losing that ball. He's held on to it. He's known for being able to hold on to that ball, especially on the wing. And West, I think they might have just been looking for a penalty, but referees say, no, stand up, play the ball, and let's get on with it.
Yeah, I think Kazzy thought he was at the World Cup, I think, there with that dive. But anyway.
And he's out of half. Touch is made. Oh, I think that is a hard one there. Let's have a look and see what the referee's doing. I don't think the player could have done much more. He was running back. He's made the touch. And I think the West player knew what he was playing for in that situation.
Definitely. 1-1, Kazzy. Good job.
And the player's been sent for a sub as well. So West will have one, maybe two plays with a one-player advantage as Newcastle player getting back onside and into the middle. So you've got Blackwood, you've got Kazzy, you've got Catalano, you've got good players in the middle. Catalano with the ball, Blackwood at half, back to Catalano. Steps, nothing happening. So nothing opening up, Newcastle holding strong. Plays it back to Blackwood, into Kazzy. Blackwood with the ball. Blackwood plays it back up. Kazzy off the right foot, into the in goal. looking for players, and ball has hit the deck. So Newcastle, again, getting away with one. So West looking to put that nail in the coffin. Can't quite get it. Keeping Newcastle in the game.
And here's a penalty. 7 on?
I think they're incorrect substitution. I think they had 7 on.
Yep.
So...
And this is the break here with just under 5 minutes to play. This is where Newcastle, if they can score here, then it becomes a little bit interesting.
So 96 in the middle from West, trying to get that hand in and around the ball, trying to force a turnover, trying to get away with one.
They're trying to drop out of their touches here, and they don't want to give Floyd an opportunity here because there he goes.
Whoa, that ball looked down from here. We're about 100 metres away, so... Touch is made, touch is called.
And those ones are always 50-50 propositions, aren't they, Luke? You know, it's a very difficult play. I think he's going to go long here.
That ball looks like it's been touched. And it's put it down. So I think we've got a 6 more.
We do.
Oh, they would have preferred the touch, the try.
Yeah.
Apologies, the try rather than that, but very close. But yeah, coming into those ones when they're diving for the line, that's where us as referees, we're coached to be there on the spot, to have the best view. You've got to make a call then and there. And that's the way it goes in our game. There's no video ref. You've just got to make a call on the spot.
Yeah.
And we're coached to be there on the spot. You'll see referees on those long balls. They'll sprint out there to make sure that they're right there on the spot to make a decision.
Yeah. Unfortunate use there of the ball there from Newcastle on that repeat set. It was first touch, and they went for the money play. It would have been nice for them to be a little bit more controlled and processed. And that's the thing, is that when you haven't been in a situation like this before, not having a lot of experience at playing in finals, it can really get to you. And I think that's probably a decision that they may rue, and it may cost them dearly.
Oh, very lucky to not have anything happen there. I think he may have just dropped it down a little bit, but I was looking at that thinking, what's going to happen here? But I think you're right with West. When they have a repeat set on the line, they slow it down, they take their time. They've got the experience of your Knuckler, your Blackwood, your Costello, your Kazi to come into the field and just slow it down. I think Newcastle a little bit frantic. Might be one of the first times they've been in this situation in a men's final.
Yeah. With
2.5 to go, they've really got to start to step up and just keep their cool.
And also we've got a couple of Youth World Cup winners out there in the Arakat twins who, played for that Australian 20s men's team that won the World Cup, the last Youth World Cup. So, yeah.
Plenty of experience.
Yeah. And big games and having to step up. And both those boys are, very good young players.
Oh.
Yeah, we're seeing it now.
They're just trying to push it a little bit. I get the feeling now that they might be getting the nerves, might be just getting the better of them. But Newcastle, there's still 2 minutes to go. So all it will take is a lapse of concentration from West, and Newcastle will be straight back in. Let's see what they can come up with. Up the middle of the field go West. Into half. We've got Kazi on the field, number 7, passes it back. He's going into dummy half. Flicks it up, back in. Blackwood picks it up from half. Throws it out, balls hit the deck. So, Newcastle, this is do or die right now. They need to get over the line very quickly. And West, I wouldn't be surprised if West looked to give away a penalty or two just to slow it down as well.
Just to give themselves the composure. And that's an unfortunate error there. The physicality that West have brought to this game has surprised Newcastle, and they haven't been prepared. I can see that, they've rattled, the Knights. And, yeah, it's definitely put them off their A game a little bit here, and that's it. But full credit to West. They've really clawed their way into contention into this tournament, and, full marks to them.
Oh, that ball looks down.
That's down.
And that's a try to Catalano, and isn't he happy about it? Referee points to the spot. We've got 45 seconds to run, and I dare say Newcastle will look for a consolation. They'll run back quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
And let's see what they can come up with 30 seconds on the clock. Newcastle will look to leave a little bit there before that full-time siren goes. So back in. Newcastle taking that touch, passing it out. They're still in the middle of the field, looking to set something up as they go in. Long ball out
There's
to the
the
link.
passive, and they finally got it right.
Throws it out,
There
and
it is.
Newcastle into the corner. They probably needed that
Yeah.
3 or 4 minutes ago.
Well, probably about like 15 minutes ago, mate. But yeah, it's really, really big effort. West now advanced through to the semi-final to take on Doyleson at 12:40 on the stadium. So that'll be a crackerjack contest. And full credit here to the Newcastle Knights making their first men's Open A quarterfinal for in their history. So congratulations to coaching staff Lindsay Brain and Matt Richards and the boys. And I'm sure they'll come back next year bigger and better.
Yep, we'll be joining you in a couple of minutes' time for our next game. And so, yeah, don't go too far, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you very much.